everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, wishing you health, long life, and prosperity. Because, life without prosperity sucks. Life without health sucks. And if you don't have either, you're probably going to have a short life. Now, if you are a homeless, drug-addicted alcoholic, for whatever reason, no judgment there, if you are, the average lifespan of homeless people in the United States is in the mid-50s, late 40s, mid-50s. This means you can completely abuse your body big time, bad time, every day, and your body has the fortitude to make it to 5 decades, right? You have the fortitude to get through to 5 decades, but those 5 decades aren't going to be so pretty, are they? Right? Well, if you nutrify the human body, if you give the human body the stuff that it needs, if you give the body all 90 essential nutrients every day, and if you stop eating food that's gumming up the works, and if you treat your body holistically, when you are up against a chronic health condition, you are going to extend your lifespan, you are going to optimize the health of the body, and you are going to get closer, if not hit the mark, of your genetic potential, which is 120 years. Did you know that? Geneticists agree, this is academic, this is not arguable, that the human body has the ability to make it to 120 years of age. Now, the epigenetic information that's coming down the pike is intimating that, well, perhaps we can extend that even further out. Because every time your genes duplicate themselves, every time your chromosomal material makes a copy of itself, makes a new eye cell, makes a new skin cell, makes a new bone cell, it loses a little bit of information. It's like making a copy of a copy of a copy, and eventually you can only make so many copies until you can't really even see what the original thing was, right? Well, there is a way with epigenetics, anti-aging medicine, to extend the genetic material, the chromosomal material, so that you don't lose as much every time your chromosomes make copies of themselves. Fascinating stuff. But my point here being is that most of us in the United States, we're lucky if we make it into our 80s, right? There are according to the Central Intelligence Agency, there are 52 other countries or 51 other countries in the world whose citizens live longer than we do in the United States. We're 52nd in the world, the United States of America. I thought we were supposed to have the best health care in the world. We don't. We don't have health care. We have disease management. We have the most expensive disease management in the world, and because the doctors that have monopolized the medical theater have no understanding of the real relationship between chronic disease and reality, because your medical doctor is not trained in how to fix your problem. Did you know that? Your medical doctor may be the nicest, sweetest, awesomest person God ever created, but they are not trained in how to cure your condition. They're not. They're trained in how to manage it. And they manage it. That's what they do. So it's like if you have water intrusion into the basement and it's creating mold, well, you can paint over the mold. You're not going to see it. You're not going to smell it for a couple of months, but the water is still going to be coming in, and eventually the whole flipping house is going to fall down. It's always better to fix it than to manage it. Well, your MD is trained how to manage the condition. Unless, of course, it's a surgery that's necessary and a trauma cure, which is what the MDs excel at. But what they're horrible at is interfacing with chronic disease, and they're not trained to cure anything. This is why healthcare disease management in the United States is so expensive, because we don't have healthcare. We have disease management. Case in point. Diabetes, according to Medscape, pulling this off of medscape.com. Office visits by patients with diabetes rising rapidly in the United States, by Megan Brooks, July 31st, 2014. I quote, office visits in the U.S. for diabetes rose 20% from 2005 to 2010. 20%. from 2005 until 2010. And why is this happening? Because your MD is clueless about the causative factor of type 2 diabetes, nor are they trained in how to prevent it, nor are they trained in how to fix it. This data from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC's National Center for Health Statistics. By the way, the largest increase of patients with confirmed blood sugar issues, type 2 diabetes, are from their mid-20s to their mid-40s. Mid-20s to mid-40s. You know why? Because people in their mid-20s and mid-40s are doing what? Exercising. Because they all want to look GQ, right? They're all exercise freaking fanatics. Go to the gym. You don't believe me? Just go to the gym on a Saturday morning. Go to the gym on a weekday morning and look to see who's there. It's mostly young people, and they're all working out like freaking crazy. Was this a good thing or a bad thing? Well, if the body is nutrified and has everything that it needs all of the time, it's a good thing, because exercise stresses the body, and then the body recovers from the stress and makes itself stronger post-exercise. That's why you exercise. But what does the body need to make itself stronger post-exercise? It needs raw materials. It needs 60 essential minerals, 16 essential vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, and 2 essential fatty acids for a grand total of 90 essential nutrients. But these nutrients are not in the food that you eat. They're not all there, not by a long shot. So everybody's nutritional tank is, half full, and then you get on the treadmill, you do the aerobic exercise workout, you do whatever it is that you do at the gym, and you burn through your nutrient reserves. Eventually, your nutrient reserves are going to be tapped out, you're going to be running on fumes, and then things are going to start to break. Type 2 diabetes was proven in 1958 to be directly linked to a deficiency in the mineral chromium. A deficiency in the mineral chromium. Your body cannot make chromium. An animal's body cannot make a mineral. A plant's body cannot make a mineral. The only person that can make a mineral is God. If you don't believe in God, you're an idiot. I'm not talking about religion, I'm talking about God. Well, if you don't believe in God, then nature. The only person that can make, minerals is nature. Right? The Big Bang, right? It made all these minerals. Minerals are found in the soil. They're not in the plant. If they're in the plant, it's because they were in the soil that the plant was growing in. If they're in the animal, it's because they were in the plant that the animal ate. And where did the plant get it? From the minerals that the plant was growing in. And minerals are not evenly spread out on the surface of the earth. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, 90% of the soil in the U.S. is devoid of the mineral chromium. 90% of the soil in the United States is devoid of chromium. Gee, I wonder why type 2 diabetes is accelerating. Because it's directly related, not indirectly related. It is directly related to mineral deficiencies, and your medical doctor has no training, no experience, no respect, and no appreciation for medical nutrition. So what the hell do? They push drugs. They do a gosh darn good job of it, too, on an annual basis, says Medscape. So this data from the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, for goodness sake, snap out of it, America. You're dying slowly because your medical doctor has his head up his rear end. On an annual basis, the cost of diabetes in the U.S. approaches $245 billion. And patients with diabetes have medical expenditures 2.3 times of those of patients without diabetes. Bad for you, good for the doctor. Here's another way to read that exact same paragraph. Let me read the paragraph the way that it's written, and then let me read it to you another way, and you see which way rings truer. Okay, here's how it's originally written. On an annual basis, the cost of diabetes in the U.S. approaches $245 billion. Here's another way to read that same statement, same sentence. On an annual basis, the medical profession profits $245 billion from the treatment of diabetes in the United States. Bad for the patient, good for the drug company, good for the hospital. Insurance companies really need to get it together, because they're being reamed by the pharmaceutical industry. They're being reamed by the medical industry. They're making billions of dollars in profits, so they don't really care. What's the most expensive medicine? The one that doesn't work, right? I mean, is it going to cost more to fix the problem or more to manage the problem? How about you just give a little chromium? Isn't that a good idea? We did that with iodine. We put iodine in the salt and eliminated the goiter epidemic in the Midwest. Why don't we put chromium in the food and you watch type 2 diabetes plummet? But oh no, let's not do that, because those nutrients, those vitamins and mineral supplements, they just give you expensive urine and they're completely unproven to work. Freaking loney. If any medical professional has told you that vitamin supplements don't work, that they're unproven, tell them to go stick it where the sun don't shine, because there are mountains, literally, well, figuratively mountains of published research confirming conclusively the academic fact that nutritional supplements, vitamin and mineral supplements for chronic disease not only work, but produce remarkable results most of the time. But, foolish is as foolish does. So the MDs spent $200,000 in 16 years of medical training at medical school, and they come out like robots, believing if I was not taught it in medical school, it is not valid. If I was not taught it in medical school, it is not valid. Buzz, click, kill the doctor, kill the doctor. Kill the patient. Kill the patient. Don't believe me? Leading cause of death in the United States, MD-directed medicine. Leading cause of bankruptcy, MD-directed medicine. Look, you're welcome to your own opinion, but not your own set of facts. When are we going to snap out of it? How much longer are we going to have to put up with this insanity before we collectively get a clue? You know how much longer? No much longer. It ends right here. It ends today. Fire your medical doctor now. Take your nutritional supplements. Get your health back. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Much more to come. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health, welcoming you to another live edition of Fire Your MD Now. $250 billion. The medical industry profits. $250 billion the medical industry profits every year from doling out substandard treatment, managerial treatment, suppression, symptom suppressive managerial treatment for type 2 diabetes. The MDs are clueless about what causes it. They have no notion of it whatsoever, yet because they're the kings of the hill, because they're the kings of the castle, because they own the domain of medicine, because they've convinced you that I'm a quack, that the chiropractor's a quack, that the Ayurvedics are quack, that the traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncturists are quacks. Everybody but the MD is a quack, right? Has substandard back of the bus training. Because they've convinced you effectively of all of that, you go along for the ride and you genuflect at the altar of the MD every day, even though their therapeutics fail you, even though their therapeutics harm you, even though their therapeutics bankrupt you, and even though their therapeutics kill you. You keep giving them money every month. Now in the United States, it's mandatory. You have to buy medical insurance. You have to, or they're going to fine you. My advice, take the fine. Buy catastrophic medical insurance. Lobby the government for catastrophic medical insurance because, it's expensive, right? You're skiing down the mountain on vacation, you slip on a piece of ice and break your leg, heaven forbid. You're in a war zone, you're in South Chicago, and someone shoots you in a drive-by, you got a bullet in your arm. You need conventional medicine for trauma care. That's what they're good at, but it's unbelievably expensive. It's a runaway train juggernaut, unbelievably expensive. You need some type of medical insurance as a hedge against that bet. I would lobby the government for, catastrophic medical insurance coverage only, because I'm never going to see an MD. There is no reason on God's green earth to go to a medical doctor if you have a chronic health condition. You're an idiot if you do. You're misinformed if you do. You've drunk the Kool-Aid if you do. You don't believe me? The next time you're in a public forum, next time you're at dinner at a friend's house, next time you're at a ball game, next time you're at Home Depot, just go up to strangers and ask them how they're feeling, ask them how their health is, ask them how many drugs they're taking. and be prepared to have your jaw on the flippin' floor. We're over-medicated in this country, and so it's like we're sweeping the symptoms under the rug happily, and then we're upset when grandma dies. We're upset when papa dies. We're upset when the brothers and sisters die. We're upset. We're really upset. Oh, they must have the bad gene. That's right. You want to explain something to me? If type 2 diabetes is genetic, how come there's been a 20% rise in the last 5 years? I mean, aren't the bad genes supposed to be selected out of the herd? Aren't the weakest members of the tribe supposed to get left behind? Isn't that how Darwinian genetics, survival of the fittest, is supposed to go? It's not genetics. It's medical stupidity brought to you by a white coat with a stethoscope and a prescription pad. You've been duped, ladies and gentlemen. Your medical doctor remains in the catbird seat in the king's throne. Not because their therapeutics are better than mine. Not because their therapeutics are more researched than mine. Certainly not because their therapeutics are less expensive than mine. Because they've legislated themselves there. They've passed laws making it illegal for anybody but the MD to practice medicine, and you let them do it. You bought it hook, line, and sinker. There's no public outrage. Where's the Million Man March against that? How about the Billion Man March? How about the Billion Person March on Washington, D.C.? Forget that. How about the Billion Person March on Michigan Avenue in Chicago, the home of the American Medical Association? We're not going to take it anymore. I want naturopathic medicine licensed in all 50 states. I want Ayurvedic medicine licensed in all 50 states. I want access to acupuncture. I want access to herbalism. I want access to traditional Chinese medicine. I want access to homeopathic medicine in all 50 states. I demand that my insurance company pays for it. I demand that the government give more research money for it. I demand that the government nationalize all of the money of all pharmaceutical industries in the United States. Period. We're going to confiscate all their stuff. We're going to rein them in. And we're going to elect the naturopathic physician as the Surgeon General of the United States, and then you'll see things change. You think that's going to happen? Maybe in your dream, never in reality. And that's why this radio program is so important. Because we are in the middle of a non-militant, peaceful revolution, a revolution of the mind and of ideas. We're doing a work around the pharmaceutical industry. Stay tuned. I'll tell you exactly how when we come back. Cooking with gas today, ladies and gentlemen. We're firing it up. I'm firing it up here every day because where did I read? My people are destroyed by lack of knowledge. And I'm just not going to take it anymore. I'm not okay with that. I'm simply not okay with that. This is the best thing you've ever did was tune into this radio show. You want me to prove it? You stick around and you listen to the testimonials that will roll in. By the way, we do not solicit testimonials. We do not solicit phone calls. We do not screen phone calls. People call the radio station. I click on them in order received. I have no idea what people are going to talk to me about. This is 100% raw, unbiased, unedited, uncut, live, baby, live. It does not get any better than that. Let's go to Charlotte, North Carolina, and talk to Richard. Hey, Richard, thanks for the phone call. What's going on in Charlotte?
How you doing?
Well, I'm good, but I'll get better, God willing, and the creek don't rise. What's happening?
With me is that I had gotten off dialysis. And now that when I had my checkup, the doctor said I'm just 10%, 10% of my kidneys are working. So right now I'm taking
All right, wait. I'm confused. I'm confused. So you used to be on dialysis, right?
Right.
Are you still on dialysis, or was that stopped?
No, that had stopped.
All right, why was that stopped?
Because I guess my numbers were good.
And what do you think made your numbers good?
By staying away from it from the dialysis.
Well, all right. Had you done anything different? Like, you changed your diet or you started taking nutritional supplements or anything different at all that you think may have made your kidneys a little healthier?
Well, the only thing that I did different was that I stayed off dialysis, and I ate moderately.
Yeah. Okay, so now you want to know what you can do to have healthier kidneys, right?
Right. So I don't have to go back on dialysis.
Yeah, okay. Well, I've seen lots of people. I should keep count, but it's a lot. I've seen a lot of people. A lot of people have called me on this radio show. They used to be on dialysis because, they had 10% kidney function, 20% kidney function, 30% whatever. They get on board with a holistic medical nutrition program and the kidneys function again and they're off dialysis and life is good. So we believe that kidneys, when the kidneys go bad, it's rare that there's anything actually wrong with the mechanism of the stuff inside the kidney. That's rare. What's usually the problem is not the stuff inside the kidney, the way that the kidney filters stuff out of the blood. The problem is the blood flow in and around the kidney. It's all jammed up. It's clogged up. Just like when, the drain in your sink gets clogged up and the water backs up behind it. Well, when the blood vessels in and around your kidney get clogged up, that's, from our point of view, the main cause of kidney malfunction and kidney pathology. It's the same mechanism that causes arteries in your heart to get clogged up. And it's got nothing to do with cholesterol. It has nothing to do with cholesterol. Clogged arteries in the heart have nothing to do with cholesterol. It is not the cholesterol that's the problem. Cholesterol actually is one of the solutions that the body is using to keep you alive, but that's another conversation for another time. So we believe that there are 10 foods, at least, which, when regularly eaten, create low-grade inflammation, constant low-grade inflammation, and it's the constant low-grade inflammation that's related to the arteries getting clogged up. So it's kind of like, if you put a diesel fuel in an unleaded engine, it's going to run like crap if it runs at all, right? Or vice versa. You put unleaded engine in a diesel, it's going to run like crap if it runs at all. It's the wrong fuel, and something's going to go wrong. Well, we've let General Mills and Monsanto and the people who make the foods and doctors who have no training, like Dr. freaking Oz, who has no training in medical nutrition, tell us what to eat. And look where it's gotten us. It's gotten us in a world of hurt, for goodness sake. So, my recommendation, number one, there are 10 foods you need to stop eating completely. You can get that list for free on my website, drglidden.com, drglidden.com, drglidden.com. Scroll down on the front page, get the list of the 10 bad foods for free, and stop eating them immediately. Number one. Number two, it would be prudent for you to give the fire department of your body help, because your body has an immune system. That's the police department. Your body also has a fire department, and it's the fire department that puts out the fires of inflammation. But in the same way that the fire department in your town needs water, well, the fire department in your body needs certain things that it uses to put out fires as well. One of the main ingredients there is a trace mineral called selenium. And then there's a group of biochemicals called antioxidants, and your body needs lots of antioxidants and sufficient amounts of selenium in order to be able to put out the fires of inflammation. So antioxidants are measured in something called an ORAC score, ORAC. My recommendation to you is figure out a way to get 100,000 ORAC points of antioxidants in your body every day. 100,000 ORAC points of antioxidants every day. Now, if you have no idea how to do that, you can get my book. I have a chapter in my book that explains how to do that. You can download my book to your computer for $10. You can also go to my website and become a Dr. Glidden Insider. As a Dr. Glidden Insider, you'll have access to 200 hours of webinars that I've put together. One of the webinars explains this whole antioxidant thing for you. It's $20 a month. You can cancel at any time. You need to figure out what antioxidants are, how to measure them, and how to get them into your body. You need 100,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day minimum, in my opinion. And last but not least, how much do you weigh, Richard?
Well, I went from 145 now to 138.
Okay, so here's what I would do if I were you for nutritional supplementation every month in order to optimize the structure and function of your body-mind with extra emphasis on the kidneys. I would do 1 bottle a month of a product called Super KB. 1 bottle a month.
That's exactly what I get right now. That's what I have right now.
All right, well, you need more than that. You need 1 Super KB. You need 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules. 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules.
Okay, I had Ultimate Daily Capsule, but it does something to my heart.
What do you mean it did something?
It's strong for me.
Well, what did it do?
It makes it like it seems like it's heavier. My heart or it skips a beat.
There's no way that supplement could have done that. How were you taking it, and how did you take it? Do you remember?
Well, I would take the pill and then drink some water.
Well, yeah, but how many a day were you taking?
No, just 1.
You took 1 Ultimate Daily once, and it made your heart race. You took 1 capsule one time, and it made your heart race.
Right, and then I tried again just to make sure because I thought it was something else, and it did it again, so I stopped.
Yeah, okay, all right. So you need 1 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 liquid. 1 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 liquid. 1 bottle of Immortalium. 1 Immortalium and 3 bottles of selenium. Okay, so that's 1 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 liquid, 1 Immortalium, 2 selenium, and 3 selenium, and 1 bottle of Super KB a month. And now the most important, right? You need to eliminate the 10 bad foods, because if you don't, it's going to be 3 steps forward and 2.5 steps backward. You're not going to really make any progress at all. But that's what has to happen. And also, you need to figure out how to get 100,000 antioxidant ORAC points into your body every day. And my book will explain that. I also have a webinar that can explain that. I'm sorry?
Okay, what about juicing? Does that help?
Yeah, juicing will be a good thing for you to do, especially celery juice. But the most important thing for you is to take the nutritional supplements and stop eating food that's gumming up the works. And now, when you juice certain things, you're going to get antioxidants plus other things that are beneficial for your body. But that would be the last thing that I would do. The first thing that I would do is eliminate the 10 bad foods, take these nutritional supplements every single day, and get 100,000 antioxidant ORAC points into my body every day. Now, once you've done that, if you want a juice on top of that, be my guest. There's no harm and no foul there at all. It's actually a good thing to do. You need to educate yourself about ORAC. And again, the easiest way to do that is just get a copy of my book or go to my website and become an insider. You're the only person that's ever told me that the Ultimate Daily Capsules made their heart race, and I have to believe you because, where there's smoke, there's fire. So what that means, by the way, is there was something in there that you had a delayed hypersensitivity food allergy to. You were allergic to something in that supplement, and that's what made your heart race. At least you were mindful enough to understand that. By the way, any type of an allergic condition from our point of view is caused by wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Because wheat, barley, rye, and oats, when taken regularly, will hurt your small intestine. And when you hurt your small intestine, you open the door for the genesis of allergies. So it's probably because you're eating, whole grains and whole cereals and bagels and bread and cookies and pasta and cakes like everybody else in this freaking country, that this whole thing happened, that made your, that made you develop the allergic condition in the first place, because that just doesn't happen for no reason. I think you're going to feel a million times better, Richard, when you finally clean your diet up and get on board with a good nutritional program. Call me back in about 4 weeks with an update, would you? I will look forward to it. Let's stay in the South and go to Bama. Talk to Anthony. Hey, Anthony, what's happening? You are live.
Hey, Dr. Glidden, how are you, sir?
I'm great, Anthony. Thanks for asking. What's happening?
I've got two gentlemen. First one is, he's 44, 5'7", 210 pounds, and has night terrors, his wife says,
Really?
And can't digest milk, and has stomach aches when he does drink milk.
Yeah.
And but he sounded like he had something that my dad had, but he was on too much medication. But he
the main cause of night terrors, right, in adults is medication reaction. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But
yes, sir.
Notwithstanding that, it's caused by calcium deficiencies. Now, isn't that funny that he probably has a calcium deficiency and he can't drink milk? Going to talk more about that when we come back, Anthony. Stick around. I'm up against a hard break. Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Luckiest day of your life. I'm Dr. Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Check out the live stream, folks, drgliddenshow.tv, the DRGLIDDEN show.tv. We are streaming video live at this very moment. Anthony from Alabama is with us. All right, Anthony, so the recommendation here is the 90 essential nutrients with the liquid calcium. And the liquid calcium, so the most economical way to get that is with the Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. Ponderously long name. It's called the Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. This guy needs one of those a month per 100 pounds of body weight a month. And then I would also give him one bottle of Cal Toddy per month on top of that. One bottle of Cal Toddy per month. Please tell him to salt his food so that it tastes good. Salt his food so that it tastes good. Because in order for his stomach to have adequate digestive juice, it needs a number of things, but two of the major players are calcium and salt. Now, look, there's not enough calcium in cow's milk to give anybody all the calcium that they need because the cow's body can't make calcium. Where the heck does the cow get calcium? Well, it gets it from whatever it's eating. Well, where did the stuff that the cow is eating get its calcium? Did it make it? No, it pulled it out of the soil. Well, what if there wasn't any calcium in the soil? Well, then there's no calcium in the grass. There's no calcium in the cow. Very little. Nutritional calcium in the milk, very little. So, just drinking milk is kind of a fool's errand if you're going to think you're going to get all the calcium your body needs from milk. It's ridiculous. This is why we must supplement. So, one Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and then one bottle of the Cal Toddy plus salt his food. Do that for 4 weeks, and I'm going to bet you 25 cents the night terrors disappear. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, are we good, or did you have one more question?
Yeah, I had one more question.
All right, shoot.
I've got a gentleman, 64 years of age. He's an Indian gentleman, 160 pounds, he says, 5'9".
American Indian or East Indian?
I believe he's an East Indian.
Okay.
Drinks a lot of beer.
Yeah.
And I get on him about that and flushing the system out of water. Complained that some weeks back he said he complained when he urinated, and he wants to put on weight. So So,
Well, the only thing that makes people gain weight is calories, so he needs to eat more calories. See, but the problem here is if your body is under-nutrified, right, you know, if your body needs 90 essential nutrients every day, but it only gets 60 or 30 essential nutrients a day, his metabolism's just not going to be right. He's not going to be right. And that's going to mess the digestive process up. And when the digestive process is messed up, it's going to mess your appetite up. And then it's going to mess your blood sugars up. And when your blood sugars are messed up, your mood's going to be messed up. And it's like this trickle-down domino effect because everything's connected. So the first, second, and third thing to do with everybody, regardless of their condition, because remember, what we're up to here is foundation boilerplate medical nutrition for the masses. And honestly, Anthony, this is the only thing that most people need. This is the only thing that most people need in order to help them optimize their health. He has to eliminate the 10 bad foods. Now, beer, of course, unless it's gluten-free beer, has two strikes against him because it's got gluten in it and it's got the carbonation. And if he drinks anything carbonated with a meal, even if it's sparkling water, it's going to upset the apple cart of his digestion because the carbon dioxide neutralizes stomach acid. And it's a really silly idea to drink anything with bubbles in it with a meal. And this is why a carbonated beverage with a meal is one of the 10 bad foods. So he needs to eliminate the 10 bad foods and just get on board with one healthy digestion pack. One healthy digestion pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. One healthy digestion pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And one bottle of plant-derived minerals. One bottle of plant-derived minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And then his natural appetite should kick in. And I would be very surprised if he didn't just spontaneously start gaining weight in a couple months. But that's the first place to start there, brother. Appreciate your support. Keep up the good work in Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, check out the live stream, thedrgliddenshow.tv. We're back at 6 after the hour. Don't even think about touching that dial. Hey, everybody, we're back in the saddle. Yes, we are back in the saddle. And as everybody knows, everybody in Texas is in the saddle because everybody in Texas has a horse. I mean, that's just common sense. Isn't that common knowledge? Doesn't everybody in Texas own a horse? Let's go and talk to Jordan and see whether or not that's true. Jordan, does everybody in Texas own a horse?
Just about, man. It's not the Honda.
I knew it. I know everybody in Texas owns a gun.
Yes, sir. I've got a 12 gauge, holds 9 shells.
Well, there you go. So welcome aboard, buddy. How can I help?
All right. I've got a friend of mine, neighbor, who has a few illnesses. She's 19, so let's see what we can do to help her.
Great.
She has cluster headaches, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome.
All right, stop right there. Stop right there. So fibromyalgia is a selenium deficiency 99.9% of the time. It is a simple selenium deficiency. Right. And that MDs don't know this is like a gargantuan oversight on their part. Veterinarians have eliminated fibromyalgia in sheep for, 40 years. If you know anybody, any rancher who keeps sheep, when a sheep gets fibromyalgia, it's called white muscle disease, and the vet comes out to the ranch, gives the sheep an injection of selenium, and within a couple of hours, the sheep is prancing around like there's no problem, whereas before it was so painful it couldn't even stand up. It's a simple selenium deficiency most of the time, so the child needs selenium. Chronic fatigue, the first thing to think about with anybody that has chronic fatigue, by the way, chronic fatigue is the number one most reported condition that people go to the doctor for in the United States. The number one reason that people visit an MD is because they're exhausted. It's the number one reason. Now, why is everybody in the world exhausted? Because everybody's running on nutritional fumes. That's why. But the medical doctors completely overlook this. They're clueless about what to do for it. They'll tell the person it's all in their head. They'll recommend prescription medication that doesn't make anything worse. It stresses out the adrenal glands, stresses out the hormonal system in the body. It's a nightmare what the MDs do for this. And it is the single most reported condition in the United States. Most of the time, where there's smoke, there's fire. When you hear hoofbeats, you think about horses before you think about zebras. it's chronic nutrient deficiencies across the board. So, she needs the Healthy Start Pack and selenium. And what was the first thing that she said she's complaining about?
Let's see. It was a cluster headaches was one of them.
Oh, yeah. So that's calcium and essential fatty acid deficiencies. Calcium and essential fatty acid deficiencies. So those are both going to be covered by the Healthy Start Pack and the Healthy Start Pack with a little extra selenium. Is there anything else that's bothering her?
She has polycystic kidney disease, and then she has what's that word? Lactose intolerant. She has to drink like almond milk. So, and I've got some OsteoFX Plus. Yeah.
Okay. Great. So she doesn't have polycystic kidney disease. Did you say?
Yeah, that's what I had her message it to me on Facebook so I could say it correctly. But yes.
Yeah. Okay. So nobody has polycystic kidney disease. Polycystic kidneys are not a disease. Okay. Polycystic kidneys are a birth defect. And MDs, and this happens all the time, right? Somebody will be 50 years old. They've got, low back pain. They go into an MD's office. The MD does an X-ray of the low back. And in the X-ray of the low back, they see that there's a problem with the kidney, something funky in the kidney. So they'll do a high-definition ultrasound of the kidney, or they'll do a CT or an MRI of the kidney. And, oh, my God, you have polycystic kidneys. We have to operate right away. Well, guess what? They've had polycystic kidneys their entire life. It's a birth defect. It happens in utero. It's like someone being born with a club foot or someone being born with a cleft palate or spina bifida. It's a birth defect. They've had it. She's had it her entire life. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. She can live with it. The kidneys can handle it and deal with it. It's not a problem. Now, rarely, if polycystic kidney disease is a problem, it's going to be a problem in day one of life, right? The child's born. They've got all kinds of problems. They do the blood work. They see that the creatinine levels are off the chart. There's runaway kidney disease. It's a problem. And if polycystic kidneys is a problem, it's a problem at birth. If they're fine symptomatically and the blood work's fine, the urine's fine, they're fine, the doctor's full of crap. But, stupid is as stupid does, and you can't fix stupid. So I'm not going to worry about that because there's nothing to worry about. You can't go back in time and fix it. Her mother, however, if she's still considering having kids, I don't know if she is, but she needs to be counseled that that's the obstetrician's fault. Birth defects are caused by nutrient deficiencies in the blood of the pregnant mother while she's pregnant. It's the obstetrician's fault because it's the obstetrician's job to keep the mother and the child healthy during pregnancy. If anybody is born in the United States or anywhere, quite frankly, with a birth defect, the attending physician needs to have their medical license suspended and send them back to school for an education about the relationship between medical nutrition and birth defects, for goodness sake. So I'm going to bet you 25 cents, Jordan, that this kid also has really bad menstrual cramps, but she was too embarrassed to tell you about it. Really bad menstrual cramps, or that she has restless legs at night in bed. It's hard for her to get to sleep because her legs are, kind of antsy and jumpy. Or she has trouble falling asleep or kind of a low-grade anxiety. And oftentimes, teenagers, it's hard to get them to say anything, right, let alone give you intimate details of their life. But I bet you that if you probed, you would find these things present as well because they all flock together, these symptoms. So the recommendation is easy. It's one Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid, one Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid, and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. It should be easy breezy lemon squeezy.
Yeah, she's a real lightweight. She's like 110, 115. They've been my neighbors for over 10, 15 years. So one thing she was wanting me to ask, as she's on a few different medications, she was concerned that taking the nutritional supplements would somehow, that old story.
No, it's just the opposite. First of all, good for you for being a good neighbor, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because that takes a certain amount of cojones to walk over to your neighbor's house and say, hey, look, I know a doctor that says you don't have to suffer with that, and if I lend you this DVD, will you watch it? It's not everybody that can do that, so good for you for doing that, number one. Number two, it's just the opposite, right? When a person takes a prescription medication, The prescription medication upregulates biochemical pathways in the body. It's like stepping on the gas in the car. Well, when you step on the gas in the car, you burn through the gasoline in the tank faster, right? Well, when you take a prescription medication in the body, you burn through your vitamins and minerals and essential fatty acid stores just like that. So the longer that somebody's on a prescription medication, the less nutrition they have in their body, and the less effective the medication becomes. This is why after someone's been on a med for 6 months or 7 months or a year, it doesn't work as well as it did before, and they have to up the dose or add another drug to it. And it's not because the person's habituated to the response. It's because the drug just burned up all the B vitamins in their body and all the minerals, and they don't have any more. And so the drug isn't working as well. So just the opposite will happen to her, that the drugs will work more efficiently and more effectively. But remember, the medication, the purpose of the medication was never to heal the problem.
Exactly.
And the kid needs to know this. The doctor is not trying to fix the problem.
No,
the doctor is managing the problem, right? And it is the goal of medical nutrition every time. And sometimes we hit the mark and sometimes we fall short. Most of the times we hit it. It's the goal of medical nutrition to get people so healthy they can safely stop taking all prescription meds, especially if she's 19 years old. So, maybe get her a copy of my book and have her read it, kind of bring her up to speed with the whole holistic thing. Because really, people just don't understand. They just don't understand this. And I tell you what, man, if every Texan woke up tomorrow and understood that their MDs, who may be the nicest people God ever created, really nice human beings, but if every Texan understood in their bones tomorrow that their MDs are not trained how to cure their disease, that their MDs are not concerned with what causes the disease, there'd be a revolution. And the Texans would start it, the Texans would finish it. And that's one of the reasons why the work that we do is so important, because all we're doing here is talking about the truth. Look, this is the way that it is. This is what MDs are good for. This is what they suck at. This is how they're trained. This is what they think. Did you know that? Did you know that this is the way your MD thinks? Did you really know that? Most people don't. And this is a problem. And when people see it and experience it, and, the sackcloth gets pulled from their eyes, everything's different. And that's why it is only a matter of time until everything changes here, because the truth will out. And this is Longevity on the Move. This is Longevity Nation worldwide on the move. Because when your neighbor gets better and then she tells it to her girlfriends and her parents see the change and they tell it to their friends, and the word like that's going to trickle.
Like
and
wildfire.
That's how we're going to change the world, man. And you know what? It's all because of you, which makes you the most awesome person in the world, Jordan. So go do something really good for yourself, because you're making a huge difference. Do not stop, no matter what you do. Redouble your efforts. I not only want you to become the most famous person in Texas, I want you to become the wealthiest person in Texas. And how are you going to do that? By helping everybody in your world to recover their health. And that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Now go out there and get her done, man. I'm very proud of what you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a peaceful revolution, but it is a revolution, and it is a revolution of ideas. We are on the tip of the spear of cutting edge from the Department of Redundancy Department. Science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition for the masses. In the same way that we doubled life expectancy in the United States by cleaning up the water, by developing public sanitation, and by having the government regulate food control and subsidize farmers so everybody has food on the table all the time, we doubled our life expectancy just by doing those three things. Well, guess what? When you get a clue, stop eating food that's hurting the body. Fill your nutritional tank up every day with everything that your body needs. That's a game changer, and that's how we're going to make a difference in the world. Stick around. That's how we do it. One person at a time. A little bit of knowledge goes a long way here, right? I mean, a little bit of knowledge goes a long way. I'm, in my mid-50s? I remember when we had when the televisions were black and white. I remember when the phones in the house were the old rotary, with really heavy phones, a rotary dial. I remember that. I remember when the TVs were black and white. I remember when there wasn't air conditioning in cars. I remember when there were no power windows in cars. I remember when the first color TV was introduced. I remember when the first cell phones were introduced. Those big, gigantic things, with the big antennas, looked like a walkie-talkie. I remember those. I remember when shotguns had wooden gun stocks and no such thing as a plastic gun stock. What is that? I remember lead shot in shotguns. I remember a lot of things. Times change. People change, right? I remember the Commodore 64. Remember the Commodore 64? Remember 8-track tapes? Remember those? How about those 8-track tapes? Now what do we have? We've got MP3 stuff. We've got all of the songs in the universe on a little eeny-weeny teeny jump drive. It's unbelievable what technology has done, right? Every house has at least one computer in it now. Everybody's got a smartphone. There's more computer technology on one smartphone now than there was on the first manned mission to the moon. You got to be kidding me. We move fast with technology. We don't move at all with medicine. We don't move at all with medicine. Because as Max Planck, one of my most favorite physicists, said, science progresses one funeral at a time. Because in the world of medicine, you have the court of public opinion. Well, not public opinion, but the court of standard operating medical procedures, right? So the medical doctors go to school and they're trained in the standard operating medical procedure, and this is what you do. Even if it doesn't work, this is just what you do. Doctors are also trained not to question authority. Doctors are also trained that their you-know-what doesn't stink and that they can't make mistakes. And if they do make mistakes, well, that's just life, and, you're going to have collateral damage no matter what, and, sometimes patients just have to die. And so ridiculous ideas like bloodletting, which is, was the common medical procedure in George Washington's time, take a century before they're stopped being used. Case in point, Dr. Semmelweis. You want to do a little history reading? Look up Dr. Semmelweis. I forget what his first name was. Emmanuel, perhaps? I forget. Dr. Semmelweis was working in a clinic. He was an MD in the 1800s, I think, or early 1900s, can't remember. It was before Louis Pasteur came along. And Semmelweis noticed that the women who gave birth with midwives did not get childbed fever. And the women who gave birth with MDs got childbed fever. And childbed fever was a big bad voodoo daddy. It killed most of the people that got it. If you got childbed fever, you're going to die. And it was bad. And Semmelweis also noticed that the doctors who would deliver the babies would have bloody aprons on, right? And bloody lab coats, because they've come out of surgery and covered with blood, and they just walk into the next room and deliver the baby. This was before Louis Pasteur, before anybody knew about the germ theory or the presence of microbes at all. So doctors are delivering children with, dirty, infected hands. And so the women get childbed fever and die. And Semmelweis said, look, this doesn't happen with the midwives. The only difference is the midwives have clean hands, the doctors have bloody hands. I want every doctor in the world to wash their hands before they deliver babies, and they kicked Semmelweis out of the medical profession. Kicked him out. Isn't that great? This is what happens. Medicine does not advance the same way that other fields of human endeavor do. Medicine stays the course. Now, when you mix together into a potion the normal intellectual intractability of medical doctors with a for-profit monopoly, man, guess what happens? People die. Again, you're welcome to your own opinion, but not your own set of facts. Leading cause of death in the United States, MD-directed medicine. 780,000 people a year die from MD-directed medicine. That's more than heart disease. It's more than cancer. You know, you see all these things about cancer awareness and heart disease awareness. How about medical doctor awareness? Wouldn't that be more prudent? I think it would. That's why I'm here. Remember the name of this show. Fire Your MD Now. Going to Texas and Carmela when we come back. Stick around. Welcome back, Jack. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health, talking it up. In the chat room, we have 52 people viewing us live on YouTube and in the live chat. 48. Hey, we made 100. We're at 100 people, and you gotta love that. Let's go to Texas and talk to Carmela. Hey, Carmela. Thanks for the phone call. What's your horse's name?
No, I don't have one. No, I don't.
I thought everybody in Texas owned a horse. I guess not, huh?
No, I live in the city, and I don't have no ranch or anything out of the city.
Hey, Chihuahua.
Yeah. Chihuahua, yeah.
Chihuahua.
Yeah, I'm just, I got the products for myself.
Yeah.
And, like, within 3 days, I felt like when I was 18 years old.
I know. It's remarkable, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yes. Tears came out my eyes when I got up. I just felt my body was so strong.
It's remarkable. I know. But most people have no idea what they're missing.
Yes. So I'm calling for my nephew. He's 27 years old. He works for the oil field.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they go upstairs, a lot. So he has problems with his knees.
Oh, yeah.
Something's wrong with the bones, it's almost gone or something.
Yeah. Well, the problem isn't, so here's the deal, right? There is a certain amount of stress that's going to hurt anybody's bone. I mean, even Superman, there's a certain amount of stress that's going to break Superman's bone. But a kid in their 20s, I mean, I don't care if he works for the post office and he walks 15 miles a day. I don't care if he's a soccer player and runs 15 miles a day. The only reason that the knees go bad with normal wear and tear is not because he has a knee, but because he's eating food that's hurting the knee. He doesn't know that he's doing that. And because his food doesn't have the stuff that the knees need to maintain their structural integrity. It's kind of like he's driving around on tires that he never put, he only put air in them once. And he's been driving around on them, and they're losing air because that's just what happens, and you got to put the air back in, but he's never put the air back in. And he's wondering why the knees are going bad. Well, it's because he has a stupid doctor. That's why. And his doctor should have told him this. I mean, I know this. The research has been done. I've read the research articles. I've applied this clinically. I've seen what happens. Why doesn't his MD? Because his MD doesn't give a crap. His MD is not a good doctor. He's a bad doctor. He's a bad doctor, no biscuit. Bad doctor, no biscuit. So, what's your son's body weight, Carmela, approximate?
It's, he's 230.
230? Okay. And how tall is he?
He's 6'2" or...
So, yeah, he's probably, 20 pounds overweight? Little overweight, not much, maybe 20 pounds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. All right, so here's what I would do if I were him to support and promote healthy bones and joints, okay? Per month, I would do 2 Healthy Bone and Joint Pack 2.0 liquid. 2 Healthy Bone and Joint Pack 2.0 in the liquid form. 2 of those a month. I would do 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium per month. 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium per month.
Okay.
And 4 bottles of liquid Glucogel Plus per month. 4 bottles of liquid Glucogel Plus per month. Now, alternately, instead of the liquid Glucogel Plus, let me do some quick math here. He could do, what do you say, he's 240 pounds. So he needs 24. So 24.
So it would be the same.
Yeah, okay. So 24 caps times 30 days. Hold on. 24 caps a day times 30 days in the month equals 720. So if we divide 720 by 240, we get. 3, exactly. So an easier way for him to do this would be 3 bottles of glucogel capsules at the 240 count. 3 bottles of glucogel at the 240 count, the capsules. He won't need to do the liquid. All right, so that's 2 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 in the liquid form, 4 bottles of selenium, and 3 bottles of the glucogel capsules at the 240 count per month. Plus, he must stop the 10 bad foods. He must stop the 10 bad foods. And I'm going to guess, Carmela, that the same way that you felt better within just a couple days, that he's going to feel better within a couple days. And within a couple of months, his knees are going to be, like they were when he was 10 years old. It's not going to be a problem. I've seen patients that, they've got a knee problem. They go to the knucklehead orthopedic surgeon. When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So what's the surgeon going to tell them that they do? Well, you need surgery. So they had surgery. Oh, you've got bone-on-bone arthritis and you need surgery. So they had a fake knee done. And then that started to get funky. So they said, well, I'm going to try something else. They talked to Dr. Wallach. Dr. Wallach told them what to do to have healthy knees with nutrition. Mm-hmm. And the knee replacement got better, and they grew cartilage on top of the knee replacement. They grew cartilage, which is supposed to be impossible to do, but I've seen it. So, there's a lot that can happen here, and it's not because of his job. It's not because of the excessive stress on his knees. It's because his body has run out of the stuff the joints need, and unwittingly, he's eating food that's hurting the joints every day. And when he stops that and gives his body joint stuff, well, sky's the limit, really.
Okay, you said 2 healthy bone and...
No, it's called a Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0.
Okay.
Liquid. Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. It's a stupid name, but I didn't name it. Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. He needs 2 of those.
Okay.
4 selenium.
Okay.
And 3 glucogel capsules at the 240 count.
What is the glucogel for?
The joints specifically. It's got hyaluronic acid, chondroitin sulfate, and glucosamine sulfate. It provides the raw materials in superabundance that the joint cartilage needs to be healthy.
So this is for a month?
Well, what we do with everybody, the recommendation here for everybody, regardless of what you have, I don't care how old you are, I don't care how much you weigh, I don't care. I do not care what the details are. Eliminate the 10 bad foods and take the appropriate nutritional supplements for 3 months in a row, 90 days, before you judge it. Might take him, 8 weeks before his knees start to feel better. Might take him 1 week before the knees start to feel better. I don't know. Okay. But the recommendation here is 90 days. Give us 90 days to make a positive, dramatic change in your body before you judge the supplement program up or down. Now, once it starts to work, the recommendation is you just keep taking it every month until there's no more problem. So he keeps taking it until there's no more knee pain. I mean, that might take a year, might take 3 months, might take 2 weeks, I don't know. Right? But he keeps doing it until the knee pain's gone, and then he can back off to a maintenance dose.
Okay.
He's probably not going to want to back off to the maintenance dose because he's going to feel so good on this dose, right?
Okay.
And then, we have a big presence in the great province of Alberta in Canada. And Alberta is Canada's Texas. They do oil and gas in Alberta, and I love working with people in Alberta because they're down-to-earth, pragmatic cowboys and cowgirls. They're like real down-to-earth, results-oriented people and no BS. And we're growing like a weed in that part of the world because word spreads like wildfire. I mean, when you get one guy working on a rig and his arthritis goes away, in 2 days, everybody on the rig knows about the stuff and everybody's taking it because that's just the way that it is. So you want to tell your son about the business opportunity here, and once he gets traction with it physically, show him that he can get his supplements for free and make a couple of extra bucks every month by helping the people on the rig with him get their health back too, because they all need it just as much as he does.
Yeah, he was selling some other products, and then he compared the ones with the longevity, and it was just 13. I said, "Oh, these are better."
Yeah, yeah, I'm telling you, Carmela, I've been doing this for 25 years as a licensed holistic physician.
Okay.
And Dr. Wallach's stuff is better than anything I've ever seen. It's better than anything I've ever seen. And that's why I'm a big cheerleader for this, because it works. And I appreciate your health, your help. I got to move on, Carmela. You're the greatest. Go get your health back and that of your sons. Let's go to Kansas and talk to Sue about a cat with a tapeworm. What's up with that? Hey, Sue, thanks for the phone call.
I have an 8-pound cat. Well, I have 3 cats, but this little one is not feeling well. And I know she has tapeworms because I see the little rice things on her bottom. And I didn't know if I could give her a portion of Killer Biotic instead of going to the vet and getting some chemical.
I don't know. That's a question for Dr. Wallach, because there are some herbs that animals can't take. Like, for instance, you can't give a dog chocolate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know, but Dr. Wallach would know. And you can call him on his radio show every day from 2 to 3 Central Time, 2 to 3 Central Time. And if I were you, I would call the studio 10 minutes before the show starts, so you get first in line. There is a homeopathic medicine, which is often very effective at helping animals to recover their intestinal health. And it's homeopathic sulfur, S-U-L-P-H-U-R, in the 30C strength. Homeopathic sulfur in the 30C strength.
30C strength?
Yeah, C like Charlie, 30C, homeopathic sulfur. Any health food store in the world will have that. Give the cat 2 pellets orally once a day for 4 or 5 days, and keep your fingers crossed. But call Wallach on the radio, because...
For 4 or 5 days?
Yeah. Or until you see the tapeworm come out, yeah.
Okay. I have a question for you about eating nuts.
Okay.
Do they leach anything out of your system? Like almonds, almond butter?
Well, the problem here is some nuts have phytates in them, P-H-Y-T-A-T-E-S, phytates. And if you eat a nut or any food, spinach, for instance, is high in phytates. Rice is high in phytates. Coffee is high in phytates. Beans are high in phytates. If you eat any food that's high in phytates and you've just swallowed a mineral supplement, like, most of the stuff in Youngevity, the only stuff in Youngevity that doesn't have minerals in it is the essential fatty acids, the Killer Biotic, and a couple of other things. Everything's got minerals in it. So the phytates will bind to some of the minerals and disallow their being absorbed into the body. So we don't recommend you eat anything that has phytates in it within a couple of hours of taking a mineral supplement. But that's really the only prohibition. Now, we don't like peanuts because of the possibility of a fungal infection called aflatoxin, A-F-L-A-T-O-X-I-N. You can see that under a black light, by the way, and that's an interesting experiment. But other than that, we're good to go with nuts. Appreciate you. Give Wallach a call and let me know what happened. San Diego, oh my God, my favorite city in the United States is on the line. Let's go to San Diego and talk to Gary. Hey, Gary, thanks for the call. You are live.
Thanks again. Out of wellness again. I had a lady going to work a couple, 3 months ago and gets rear-ended. Then slammed again. But anyway, the problem she's got is she got left eye lid is just shut totally. Double vision.
Yeah.
The doctor says she's got a mild concussion.
Yeah.
And the last thing is something about a third nerve palsy.
Yeah. All right. So these are all different arms of the same octopus, right? The cranial nerves. There is a bunch of nerves that come directly off of the brain. and that go to your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and throat to make them work. The rest of the nerves in your body come off of your spinal cord and, out of your back. But there's a bunch of nerves that come directly off of the brain and that go to your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and throat. But to get to your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and throat, those nerves have to go through tunnels in the skull. Now, if you have trauma to your body, get a whiplash or a head injury, a concussion, your skull bones can get all messed up because your skull, by the way, your skull is not like Mr. Bones in the high school classroom, a hard, bony, calcified thing, right? Living bone is yellow, it's flexible, it's pliable, and there's a number of bones, I forget how many, in your skull that they all fit together like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. And when you have a trauma to your skull, the pieces of the puzzle can get tweaked and moved and out of alignment. So, given the nature of the accident with the trauma, we don't want to overlook the obvious. I would encourage this person wholeheartedly to find either a chiropractor or a naturopathic physician, because both are licensed and regulated in California, that's been trained and has experience with a manipulative technique called craniosacral. She needs to find a craniosacral practitioner. Now, craniosacral practitioners are trained how to put the jigsaw pieces of your skull back together, which sounds, horrifying, but it's a wonderful, easy treatment. If you've never had a craniosacral treatment, I highly recommend you get one. They're awesome. But, you got to find someone who's skilled at it, right? You got to find someone who's skilled at it. So craniosacral treatment, number one, to help address structural issues from the concussion. Number one. Number two, of course, we need bone and nerve support, right? And how do we do that? Well, the easiest way is with One Healthy Body, a 2.0 Start Pack liquid. One Healthy Body 2.0 Start Pack liquid. One of those. 2 bottles of selenium. 2 bottles of selenium. And 2 bottles of liquid Glucogel Plus per 100 pounds of body weight per month. That's 2 liquid Glucogel Plus, 2 selenium, and 1 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid per 100 pounds of body weight per month. It never hurts for a month or two to give extra calcium. Cal Toddy is my favorite, so give her 1 bottle extra of Cal Toddy a month. And for central nervous system support, have her eat a diet that's high in cholesterol, because her nerves are made from cholesterol. That's what they're made from. So it would be prudent for her to eat a diet that's high in cholesterol. Of course, eliminate the 10 bad foods, salt her food so that it tastes good, because that's just going to increase her body's digestive juice, and that's never a bad idea. Now, every homeopath in the world is going to cringe when I say this, but there's a homeopathic medicine that is the first thing to think of when you have lingering effects from a head trauma. It's called natrum sulfuricum, homeopathic natrum sulfuricum. That's N like Nancy, A, T like Thomas, R-U-M, natrum sulfuricum, S like Sam, U-L, P-H-U-R-I, C like Charlie, U-M. Get that in the 200C or the 200CK strength. Give her 2 pellets twice a day for 5 days. 2 pellets twice a day for 5 days. See what happens. Regretfully, Gary, we are all out of time. Appreciate your phone call. Appreciate the work that you do in Wellness Publications in California. Ladies and gentlemen, you did it again. You spent 2 hours with me. Appreciate it very much. I am your steadfast advocate for health. If you haven't been there yet, check my website out, drglidden.com. God willing and the creek don't rise. Back in the saddle tomorrow afternoon. Until then, live long and prosper.